Hey folks, this is Kalani. We finally have an announcement for patch 10.2.6 including a release date, so the wait is almost over. Season 4 should also be starting up soon, and it looks like we could see some huge game-changing additions this time around, including a complete revamp of how dungeons work and what gear rewards they are going to offer. The current Hearthstone event also saw some quick changes to help speed up completion of various activities, and we have another 12 hero talent previews for the War Within expansion. It has been a busy week with a lot to talk about, so let's break it all down. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. First up this week, we finally have an announcement for 10.2.6. Patch 10.2.6 will go live with the next weekly reset on March 19th, so that's next week. The long wait will finally be over, and we'll get to peek behind the curtain to see what the dev team have been hiding this whole time. That's kind of all we get in the announcement though. There is a new logo with yet another pirate flag, so that's cool, but apart from that, we are going into next week completely blind. The blue post did also mention Season 4, stating that will go live several weeks after the release of 10.2.6, so we still have quite a bit longer to grab those last minute achievements and goodies before they become unobtainable like every other seasonal reward in the past. Now, even though we have to wait a bit longer for Season 4 to freshen everything up on the live servers, we won't have to wait very long at all to see how Season 4 is going to change the game. Right after 10.2.6 goes live, the PTR realms should open once again, this time with Season 4 content and changes ready for testing. So we'll get an early look at how Season 4 will spice things up to hold us over until the War Within expansion and pre-patch. After Season 4 testing is done, which should be within that next several weeks time frame given in the blue post, the PTR should move on to 10.2.7, which will deliver one last round of content before we move on to the next expansion. In addition to that testing, the War Within Alpha should start up sometime soon, probably in late March or early April, so we have a lot of new information and content to look forward to. On the topic of Season 4, one huge change that we already know about is for how dungeons are going to work. If you missed this earlier this week, basically dungeons are going to be quite a bit harder when compared to previous seasons, but far more rewarding. The entire difficulty structure is being squished down, so there are going to be fewer stepping stones in between the difficulties, and your progression should be more impactful. As a quick overview, normal dungeons are going to stay the same, heroic dungeons will take the place of Mythic 0 dungeons, while Mythic 0 dungeons move all the way down to where a Mythic plus 10 keystone would have previously been. So Mythic dungeons are going to mean a lot more in terms of progression. They will be significantly harder when compared to previous seasons, but reward you with gear that's on par with normal raid loot, which is kind of insane. The general idea seems to be to keep heroic dungeons relevant for longer while establishing Mythic dungeons as a relatively high progression option for dungeon players. The key factor here is that even though they will be more difficult, the new Mythic 0 dungeon option will not have any of the Mythic Plus mechanics, so no time limits and no affixes, so you can take your time, progress at your own pace, and you'll be rewarded even if you don't clear the entire dungeon. This round of changes sets up dungeons to be their own true endgame progression before you take Mythic Plus into account, and then Mythic Plus continues the scaling and rewards as per usual. I am really interested to see how these changes work and are received in Season 4, because it really does change how gearing is going to work at endgame. Again, Season 4 should go live sometime after 10.2.6, so we don't have too much longer to wait. Now, if you're looking for something to tie you over until 10.2.6 is released, the Hearthstone event started up this week and has now been extended, so you have until Friday the 22nd to get all of your rewards and achievements squared away. The event was also hotfixed to give you extra chances of obtaining cards by using the Hearthstone game board toy, and the boss portals will spawn every 30 minutes instead of every hour, so it should be even easier and faster to get everything done. Now, if you haven't looked into this at all yet, you can take part in the Hearthstone event by accepting the invitation in your mailbox. You can pop by the Hearthstone area in Valdrakken, which is on top of one of the spire things just directly above the bank. The invitation quest should take you here. You can also go just outside of Orgrimmar or the Stormwind Docks area. The choice is yours. After the recent changes, it doesn't seem to matter where you play your cards between these three different areas. Almost all of the event rewards come from the event portal that spawns in each Hearthstone area every 30 minutes. The actual loot comes from Dr. Boom, so be sure you grab a tag on him specifically. You're going to have a chance to get a new Hearthstone Compass Rose mount, a rat pet called Sarge, a 36 slot bag, a new Hearthstone toy with a very cool effect, a tabard, some cosmetic items, and then you can also get random collectible Hearthstone cards. There are 21 total to collect with 2 achievements to earn. When you collect 10 cards, you'll get the Hearthstone Beginner achievement, which rewards you with the Hearthstone Game Table toy, so you can challenge opponents anytime you want. Then there's the Hearthstone Card Collection achievement for collecting all 21 cards as well. It's super easy to get all of the rewards, it's just a little RNG dependent. Just pop by the Hearthstone area every 30 minutes and kill the boss. That's really all you gotta do. Now if you're looking for the Fiery Hearthsteed mount, I believe you have to log into Hearthstone on your Battle.net account to get credit for that one specifically, not World of Warcraft. So if you're wondering where your free fire horse is, that may be your answer. With not much else happening in WoW until the weekly reset, it's a great time to get some Hearthstone related goodies from the event. And then the other big update we have this week is another round of hero talent previews. This week we have 12 new hero talents to add to our collection, which I believe brings us up to 28 out of the 39 total trees that will be in the War Within, so we're getting very close to having all of them available to preview, and I wouldn't be surprised if they had the remaining 11 hero talent trees in the very next preview, which could be as early as next week. The dev team did say they wanted these out as early as possible to get some feedback, so at this rate we probably will have an early look at every single hero talent tree before the War Within Alpha starts, which is fantastic for feedback and should help shape the expansion to be the very best it can be. So this week we have new Death Knight, Demon Hunter, Druid, Hunter, Evoker, Mage, Monk, Shaman, Warlock and Warrior trees. I will give you a link in the description to peruse these at your own leisure, and I strongly recommend you do, because giving your feedback is the best way to ensure these hero talent trees are fun and exciting by the time the game goes live, but we're going to go through them super quickly and highlight some interesting or powerful new options. The Deathbringer tree is for Blood and Frost Death Knights and focuses on a new debuff that you power up to deal big damage. There are various bonuses and buffs as well as some new AoE options. The Rider of the Apocalypse tree is for Frost and Unholy Death Knights and is all about the 4 horsemen. You can summon them, empower them, and they provide different bonuses. You can even summon all 4 at once for huge power spikes, but the most interesting part in this tree is being able to use your mount while in combat. That is going to be a lot of fun to play around with. The Aldraki Reaver Demon Hunter focuses on a new glaive ability which empowers your other main spells that attacks. There are lots of passive bonuses to your main attacks, some cooldown reduction and some utility buffs as well. Druid of the Claw is for Feral and Guardian, which gives you a chance to trigger massive attacks which deal a huge amount of AoE or cleave damage by the sounds of things. It's all about that physical damage and bleeds, with plenty of options for empowering that kind of damage. Pack Leader is for Beast Mastery and Survival Hunters. This tree focuses on increasing your damage alongside your pet, giving chances for extra pet attacks, guaranteed crits, empowering kill command, and giving you more access to it, and generally just improving your pet-themed abilities. Flame Shaper is for Devastation and Preservation Evokers. This one focuses on your flame abilities and damage over time spells specifically, giving you extra options for applying dots and increasing your damage for each dot on your target. There's some cool options for spreading your dots as well as dealing big AoE damage. Spellslinger is for Arcane and Frost Mages. Whenever you consume Nether Precision or Winter's Chill, you fire a splinter of magic to the target, dealing damage over time. The tree then gives you extra ways to fire these splinters, changes how they interact with other abilities, and lets you create a storm from active splinters, which could be an interesting little minigame. Shadowpan is for Brewmaster and Windwalker Monks. This one focuses on quick attacks and unleashing flurry attacks every so often. The tree further empowers your flurry attacks, provides various passive extras, and you get a massive buff whenever you trigger 10 flurry strikes. This all seems dependent on spending energy and dealing damage equal to your health, so I wonder if that's going to create some weird interactions where you try to limit your max health to generate flurry strikes faster. Conduit of the Celestials is for Mistweaver and Windwalker Monks, which unsurprisingly focuses on the August Celestials. The main ability is a 4-second channel which deals AoE damage or healing. You have a chance to summon other Celestials when using certain abilities to give you powerful buffs. There are various passive bonuses, and you can recast your big channel when you fully unlock the tree. Farseer is for Elemental and Resto Shamans. This tree focuses on summoning ancestors who copy your abilities. You can empower them to be more effective, give you extra buffs and bonuses, and you can summon extra ancestors towards the bottom. Hellcaller is for Affliction and Destruction Warlocks, and it focuses on a new damage over time spell called Wither. There are various ways to stack it up, and it can consume stacks to quickly deal damage. There are various passive bonuses too, and a new 1-minute cooldown at the bottom. And then the last one we have this week is Slayer for Arms and Fury Warriors. This one seems to focus on empowering your Execute, Sudden Death and Blade Storm, causing them to deal more damage, have extra effects, reduced cooldowns, and changing how they interact with each other, so there's some pretty cool synergy in this tree. But that's all the new hero talent trees we have to look at this week. I will give you a link to a Wowhead page where they have each talent tree set up like an actual tree, so you can see how you might want to progress through it and play around with the choice nodes. That's all of the updates we have for this week, so that's it for this video. With the patch going live with the next reset, be sure to keep an eye out for our videos going over what the patch includes and how everything works. What do you think patch 10.26 is going to include? How do you feel about the dungeon changes coming with Season 4, and which hero talent trees do you think look the best so far? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you'd like to add your name to the end of every video with a special shout out at the start of the next video, you can find links in the description of the Patreon or click the join button just below this video. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.